What's going on, guys? Coach Ian here with Legacy Endurance, helping you run further, faster, and more focused. And this week I want to talk to you guys about being efficient, which ultimately translates into being faster. Stick around. Alright guys, so when we talk about being faster, a lot of times I know not everybody's goal is to be faster, but there's a huge reason why you want to be more efficient from an injury perspective, from an effort perspective. So I'm going to head outside today. I'm going to give you 2 quick, easy tips this week that you can work on that'll help you be a little bit more efficient on your feet, hopefully improve that stride, reduce your injuries, make you save the world, well, at least run a little bit better. We're going to head outside. Let's go. Alright guys, so we got a couple tips for you this week to help you to run faster, but rather than think about being faster, I want you to think about being more efficient. And so there's 2 things I'm going to give you this week to sort of focus on, think about. First thing is going to be your posture. And I know a lot of us have really bad posture because we spend a lot of time sitting at a desk, we spend a lot of time texting on our phone, we spend a lot of times not really in a great state of posture. So being efficient is really important that we start with a great posture. So the 6-inch rule is something that I've used for myself, which helps me to think about visualizing myself running taller. And so that's something that really helps me. So I'm 5'9", no short jokes, but I visualize being 6'3" when I talk. It instantly changes the way I carry myself, and it really starts to get me into that nice running stance that I'm looking for, which is super helpful in being efficient. A lot of times we're hunched over, we sit kind of low in the stride, and when you do that, it's called sitting in the saddle, and it's really inefficient. It promotes a heel strike. It's not the most optimal way for you to be running. So think about being 6 inches taller than you are. The second you put on your shoes, think about being taller. And there's a couple ways I visualize that. I think about sort of a drill sergeant in the military with be inspecting his troops. Nice, tall, shoulders are nice and rolled back comfortably. You're nice and tall. You're very confident in your stride. I also visualize sort of being at the beach and walking down the beach super confident. It's the little stupid things like that that help me. But think about being super tall when you run, because that really starts to help you get up, which is what we're looking to do. You don't want to be like all tensed up, but you certainly want to think about being taller, having that chest out, nice, confident stance. All right, so the second thing we want to work on is falling forward when you're running. This sort of sense of letting gravity take you over when you're running. That really helps you to be efficient. That really helps to promote the stride we're looking for. Now there's a couple different ways we can do that. I'll show you in a second a couple drills you can use. But the first thing to think about is building on that, being nice and tall, chest out, shoulders comfortably rolled back, nice tall posture. You want to think about falling forward when you're running. You want to think about leaning at your ankles. I know that's a really weird thing to visualize, but we want to think about leaning and falling at our ankles. One way that I visualize this, and you're going to learn I'm a visual learner, I teach visually, it sort of helps, is to imagine that you have a rope on your chest, and if you were to be running that rope would be pulling you forward. I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a video on YouTube of this lady who's parasailing and she gets snapped off the dock and she basically just gets yanked forward. And that's almost the visualization that I'm looking for and that I try and teach people to think about, in that falling forward sense of really sort of being led by your chest. I'm exaggerating that, but I want you to think about that when you're running, is you really want to let gravity take you forward. If you were running and time stood still, you should fall flat on your face because you've got a bit of that forward lean happening. A lot of people, I think, sort of sit back in their stride, run really sort of on their heels and back. We want to be in a nice aggressive forward leaning stance. Ultimately that helps you to run more efficiently. You're not having to work as hard to cover the ground. So I'm going to show you a couple strides that you can work on, a couple drills, and it's really just helpful to sort of practice this before you're running. Be thinking about it while you're running. Is gravity taking you forward, or are you sitting too far backward in the stride? So one way we can practice that falling forward is just by doing strides before a workout or at the end of a workout. I like to do it before because it starts to imprint that into your mind of how that should feel. But just do like 4 or 5 strides, just like a 25-meter sort of burst of speed. But before you do, just visualize falling forward, and don't start running until you're at the point where you think you're gonna fall on your face. So all I would do is just sort of set myself up, look to lean forward, and then start. So it looks something like this. So the other thing you can do is, if you are working or training with a partner, is you can actually have that partner hold your shoulders. So you can do a drill where you just lean into your partner, have them hold your shoulders, and then just practice sort of moving forward, bringing your knees up quickly, running through that stride with a partner, helps to sort of get that sensation, because a lot of people feel nervous about leaning forward. So that's one way you can do it. You can also have them sort of put a bit of a strap behind you and just let that strap hold you up as they pull you and let you run through that, just to get that sensation. So that's your tip this week, guys. Practice sort of leaning, practice sort of being nice and tall. If you catch yourself, even when you're not running, in a bad posture, try and correct that. Think about being nice and tall. Think about the 6-inch rule. Hope those things help you guys. We'll talk to you soon.